He went to that short to the forehand side serve again, and now it's up 5-0. That is a difficult ball for Eloi to get across and reach even.
Yeah, and you can see, I mean, the intent behind the serve is that the ball comes back to the forehand. And you can see that Alwar is taking a little bit more risk, trying to carry that ball as wide as he possibly can. Hasn't quite found his mark yet.
And on the board now as Pukar drives one into the net. A good serve that time by Eloi. Makes it 6-2 with Pukar serving in his favor. He tried that same serve this time. It caught the net. And twice in a row. Now it's 6-4. So a couple of giveaway points that time by the big man, Tomislav Pukar.
Not completely uncommon to see. Wow, great rally here from both players.
Beautiful. Give that one the touch on the save machine right there, Matt Hetherington. A couple of really solid
Damien
counters.
Alwar really getting contorted there. Still managing to return a lot of balls. And now drawing even after being down 6-0. 6 in a row. A little bit of a helping hand from those two missed serves. But it hasn't put Pukar off trying that high toss serve, which can, in the beginning of matches or in tight positions, be a little bit difficult to time.
Now Eloi takes his first lead of the game and goes up 8-6 with a beautiful return off of service. He came across quickly on that short to the forehand side. It seemed like he figured that one out, Matt.
Looks like he goes for it again. He's had a few issues with the timing. Looks like he's coming in a little bit too flat. Needs to get a little bit more under the ball. But a big turnaround here in game one. Damien Alwar from France.
Down 6-0, but now up 9-7. Serve does come to Pukar. And now game point in game one to Eloi.
Goes for the chop there. Interesting shot selection.
Pukar did a good job of driving the ball into the body of Eloi a couple of times there. One time Eloi was able to dig it out, but not that last one. And that does it for game one. A big comeback for the veteran Damien Eloi from France, now playing in Germany, the four-time Olympian. Ends up coming back from down 6-0 to take game one 11-8 and seemed to find his footing as things progressed. Once he kind of figured out that short serve to the forehand side, it seemed like and you hate to make too much of it, but when you fault twice in a row on your serve, you know, you're up 6-2 at that point. All of a sudden, the whole complexion of that game changed.
Yeah, those 2 points definitely started something that Pukar definitely didn't want to happen. I mean, when you're up 6-0 and you give away 2 points, that shows Alwar, you know, I'm still in this. If you can win that and extend to an 8-0 lead, that's quite significant. But in the first game, both of these players will understand that, you know, at any time they can kind of start their match. And Alwar was a little bit late on getting into it. He was going for the shots that he knew he needed to play. Didn't quite have the right timing or the touch to get them in the beginning, but now he holds a 1-0 lead.
There's a false serve by Daniel Eloi. We're 1-1 here in game two. That was a beautiful serve, and again, Eloi was able to reach out quickly down to the short forehand side and come across table with a beautiful return.
And looks like Pukar there now trying a bit more of a backspin variation on that serve. Wants to put an end to that forehand flip.
Good decision there because Eloi, you could tell he was a little bit confused by that serve and hit it long. 2-2 here in game two. Both of these guys are using the short serve very effectively in the early going here, Matt.
And not quite able to get out to that forehand.
And now Pucar is up 4-2 here in game 2. Down 1-0. He's got the serve and up 2.
Nice pick up there off the edge of the table. Always a little bit of a challenge when the ball drops over the side edge of the table to be able to control that ball and keep it low.
Well, tried to step up that time and drive that short serve, but it went off the top of the net. Now finds himself in similar territory. He was down 6-2 in game 1, came back in 1. He's there again right now. And he starts the rally. Maybe that's the key score for him. He's up now to 6-3 or 3-6 with the serve here in game 2. Nice move that time by Eloi. Stepped up onto the table on a short ball. Very difficult for Pukar to handle that.
Decides to play out long this time. Pukar still with the lead here.
And another false serve.
Another missed serve. It's 3 now so far this match.
He's going to towel off after that one. Now 5-7, Eloi serving.
An interesting decision there from Damien Alwar to try and shift back across to the forehand rather than using his backhand. Didn't quite get in position. Just caught the top edge of his racket.
Now down by 2, the serve will shift back over to Tomas Pukar. The serve. Eloi felt as if he had that one dead to rights and just missed the table. You can tell by his response, not very happy about that forehand loop.
Yeah, I mean, at this level of international table tennis, one of the things that really is crucial to know when you're playing against high-level oppositions is that it's not often that you will be handed opportunities like that. And you have to work hard to create opportunities. And when you work hard and you create those opportunities, if you don't take them, that makes a big difference in the balance of the match. And I think Alwar's created a few opportunities that he hasn't been able to convert and turn into points. And so bound to be a little frustrated, especially with that last shot, putting the forehand over the end. So Tomislav Pukar will be happy to get back on track after being up 6-0 in the first game. I'm sure he would have loved to have had a 2-0 lead here. Definitely against a player like Damien Alwar, who has a lot of international experience and a long career of high-level table tennis behind him. Pukar will really want to try and close off any opportunities for Alwar to upset him here.
You make a great point, Matt, because when you're playing at this level, you really can't beat yourself. If you're going to win matches consistently, you've got to have a game that is reliable and consistent. And if you're missing a lot of shots that you should put away, you're not going to go very far.
Yeah, that's right. And well retrieved there by Pukar. Looks like he was a little more prepared for that forehand flip, but still a little bit too passive to take the point. Alwar putting the pressure on, staying up close to the table.
Nice punch, but it went long, and now finds himself in a 1-1 tie. Here in game 3, it's ones or wild. 1-1 in games, 1-1 in score. Tough ball off the top of the net that time for Damien Eloi to handle. Now down 1-2 with the serve.
And a good decision there. Stepped around looking for the chance to attack, but when he realized the ball wasn't coming out, did a good job of dropping that just half long.
Oh, nice backhand that time by Pukar. Right into the body of Eloi, and they're just very difficult ball to handle. He couldn't do it.
Good anticipation from Alwar. Opted to push out long, where Pukar is backhand open cross-court on a few occasions. Anticipated that and stepped around for the forehand. And another missed forehand flip from Damien Eloi. He's elevating his body a little bit too high above the ball. The ball's not quite as high as he is judging it to be, so when he comes in to hit the ball and his body weight's coming back down, it's actually driving the ball down into the net.
That shot from deep off the side of the table by Pucar. Tried to come back across the table, but missed everything, and now trails 5-4 with the serve.
I think one area that Pucar hasn't really capitalized on is the fact that there are strategies repeating themselves, and he's playing that short reverse to the forehand, and by now he knows that Eloi, if he goes for the forehand flip, is going to try and get the ball as wide out to the forehand as he can. Great defense.
Excellent
Eloi.
rally. Backhand punches there by Damien Eloi. Kept coming back at Pucar, who stood in, but
you can really see him just adding juice to that backhand.
well, that last one had good movement on it as well. Difficult ball to handle.
And another great play.
Back-to-back solid rallies by the Frenchman Damien Eloi, who's now up 9-4 here in game 3.
And Pukar goes for the tomahawk and drives right through that forehand flip.
Pucar's so tall, he can just reach to the short areas of the table without any difficulty whatsoever, and he did it there.
Eloi did a good job there of adjusting. Was a little bit off balance, out of position. After many years of playing table tennis, you can adjust your hands.
Oh, great counter that time coming from Damien Eloi. It looked like an excellent drop shot to the short side of the table by Pucar, but Eloi quickly came up in perfect position of his response. It was in a position down by the left hip of Pucar. Almost impossible ball to dig off the body.
Yep, a few good plays from Eloi. He's playing a little bit more touchy. Hasn't necessarily rushed into it as much, and I like that there have started to be situations where he can ease into the rally a bit more. Remember, Damien Alwar, at the peak of his career, was kind of submerged in a huge number of players that were playing this open rallying style. Big topspin rallies, lots of counter looping. So if he can get into these rally situations, he gives himself a little bit of an advantage as long as he can stop Pucar from being the player who's in control of the rally.
Eloi, who was ranked as high as 20th in the world at one time. If you climb your way to the top 20 in table tennis in the international game, that's an unbelievable mountain to climb. That's long, and now 2-2 here in game 4 with Eloi leading 2-1. Not happy about that return off the edge of the paddle. Spinning long. Finds himself down 1-3 with the serve. Oh, good, nice attack.
Pops a little bit of a jump into that shot. He's finding a little bit more success now. He's played that shot a great number of times during this match. Now hitting higher percentages, where in the first game we saw him make a few more errors with it.
That loop was perfectly placed right on the corner of the table, and again right into the body of Pucar. Difficult to handle.
Looks like that ball hit the shirt of Damien Alwar. And Alwar graciously explaining to the umpire that the point was for his opponent.
And he gets it right back, and now at 4-4 here in game 4. Another leaping shot that time by Damien Eloi.
Certainly gets a spring in his step when he goes for that shot. So far in this game, he's done a good job of forcing those small pop-ups off the serve. And a great service placement against a player as tall as Tomislav Pukar. If you're able to find that elbow, it's a very effective place to serve long and fast against tall players.
It's so hard to get your paddle in a position when the ball is coming in at the elbow that it's very awkward. We've seen it repeatedly in a number of matches. Oh, nice shot there by Tomislav Pukar from Croatia. Drove it behind on the forehand side on Damien Eloi.
And you can see in the replay here, Alwar actually managed to get the crossover where Pukar was switching between backhand and forehand, but a good adjustment there from the Croatian player. Big backhands from Tomislav Pukar. Alwar trying to stay in control. Going for the counter on the forehand corner, or around the backhand corner rather.
Now Pukar up by 2 here in game 4 at 8-6 with the serve. So a critical serve here for Tomas Pukar. And he wins the point. A great return that time by Eloi. Again, that short spinning serve to the forehand side, and Eloi has read it well a number of times. He's able to pull it cross table for the winner.
And just clipped the net and went a little bit short there.
And now it's game point for Pukar, who has the serve here at 10-8, down a game. Now this is where you really do have to close it out, Matt. You've got 2 game points and you're down by a game with the serve. And he does. He does it on the first opportunity, and an 11-8 victory here in game 4 for the Croatian player Tomislav Pukar. Has tied this match at 2 games apiece as they have alternated victories. 11-8 in the first game for Eloi, 11-6 for Pukar in the second. Eloi bounced back at 11-5 in the third game, and then 11-8 victory here in game 4 for Tomislav Pukar. So kind of back and forth battle between 2 impressive European players.
Yeah, absolutely, and really, it's been a battle of serve and return, I think, a lot. Pucar's done well on some occasions, forcing a lot of errors on the serve return from Damien Alwar. Good pick up there off the net. Really, but I think both players have exhibited strong service games. And you can see another forced error there. Alwar really not letting up. He knows if he wants to return that serve and stay away from Pukar attacking, he has to apply a lot of acceleration to the ball. So he's not willing to let up with it.
Nice placement that time by Eloi to get on the board here in game 5. Deep to the backhand side, right on the side of the table. Can't handle the first serve there from Pukar. Now down 5-1, and it'll be interesting to see if Eloi opted for a timeout here. They're going to take a little opportunity for Pukar to towel off, as you can at the 6th point.
And a nice backhand opening there from Damien Alwar. And there's that jump shot again from Damien Alwar. Seen it now on a few occasions.
It's almost like a fencing move. You jump into the ball.
Really puts all of his body weight into the shot and comes right back.
Pukar says, I can do that, but I don't need to jump. All I have to do is reach up there. I'm 6'5".
And a bit of a basic error there from Eloi. You can see he was a little frustrated with that response. And another great serve and setup from Damien Alwar. He's done a superb job throughout the last couple of games of just getting the ball to pop up. Now Pukar adapting to the situation. Steps across a little, opens with the backhand flip instead of trying to drop the ball short.
Pukar now up by 4 here in game 5 with the serve.
And Alwar changing things up a little. Plays a little bit softer and puts the forehand flip down the line instead of across court.
Serve that time by Pukar off the edge of the paddle of Eloi. It's 9-5. Eloi serving here down 4 in game 5. So the precision of Damien Eloi has not been quite as tight here in game 5, and it's cost him game point. But on the first attempt, Pukar went for it, but went long, so it's now 10-6. And the serve comes across here to Tomislav Pukar. And then a fault serve, number 4 of the match for Pukar.
Nice drop there from Alwar and a quick counter to finish that point.
That was a tough serve to handle too from Pukar. That ball was really moving when it got to Elwai's side of the table. Big serve here. And he gets away with it. It's off the net and out. And now we're at 10-9 here, and we're going to get a timeout. I think it's Pukar who is going to take a little break. I think he understands, you know, you have your opposition down 10-6. And now 3 consecutive points by Damien Eloi has brought him right back into the game. You know, you're at a pivotal game 5. You want to go to game 6 leading 3-2, not trailing 3-2.
Definitely. And Alwar will really be thinking. You can see him pacing around a little bit there, trying to collect his thoughts. Doesn't want to throw away this opportunity to draw this game even by winning this crucial point while he has the serve. And he manages to convert the point. A bold move, long, fast serve. Great follow-up. Got a little bit caught with the ball beside him on the second forehand, but as we've seen on a few occasions, really puts all of his body into the shot.
Oh, great serve that time by Pukar, just dying short to the forehand side. And on that one, Eloi was not able to dig it off the table. Now trails by 1. Advantage to Pukar.
And a slow and short opening from Alwar. Played half a stroke. Kept the ball half long rather than playing with the speed that Pukar might have been waiting for.
Oh, good rally. Eloi was able to land that, what proved to be final shot into the deep right corner. Hard backhand for Pukar, couldn't land it. Now Eloi has advantage here with the serve in a pivotal game 5.
And what a great way to give himself an advantage in the match. We've seen it, that must be the 4th time during just this game that he's managed to force that pop-up. 120% committed to playing that jumping forehand flip. And he's managed to land it, I think, on every occasion.
You know, it's somewhat spectacular when you leave the floor to strike the ball. One of the difficulties there is regaining your footwork to make sure that if the ball does come back, you've got to be in a position to hit the next one.
That's right. And I mean, that's why he throws all of his body weight in the first place. He wants to make sure that that ball doesn't come back.
It's interesting. It's something we saw at the Bundesliga matches and in the teams, the Yola teams in Washington, D.C., out of Morizono from Japan. He did a lot of leaps as well, but he was very quick to regain his footing and get his body position in the right spot, just in case there was a response to one of his leaping shots.
That's right. And, I mean, Alwar and Morizono have kind of a similar physique, a little bit shorter, very, very light on their feet around the table. Even after, I guess, 2 decades of playing competitively, maybe even a little bit more, Eloi still a fantastic athlete.
And Matt's noted it, but Eloi, 4-time Olympian dating back to 1992. So he was 92, 96, 2000, and then 2008. He represented his home country of France.
Good control there. Across almost 2/3 of the table for Damien Alwar. Not a bad setup. He was ready for the ball. Pukar did a good job of brushing the side of the ball a little more, just so he could carry it out of the corner. And 4-2. Tomislav Pucar from Croatia, the top seed for the 2017 US Open, encountering some fairly strong resistance here from Damien Alwar. And he will be working extra hard to push this match to the 7th.
Wow, misses long, so now it's 6-2, a position that Damien Alwar has found himself in a number of times over the course of this match, trailing by rather large margins to Pukar, but he's been able to right the ship several of those games. And he starts the process here. Now it's 6-3 with the serve. Missed the big forehand.
Just as we saw in an earlier point of the match, and slightly easy ball. Came in for the jump shot and did a fantastic job of changing to a drop shot. Managed to control that, but
great return that time by Eloi. It was short and difficult to handle, and into the net goes Pukar. And after the ball, Damien Eloi coming up here to towards the broadcast booth, just runs right over one of the barriers.
So within 2 points, big chance for Damien Alwar if we can get through these 2 serves and draw it up at 7-7. A lot of pressure.
Oh, great
There's
serve.
one of them. For sure, he will have realized. Oh, just misses that opportunity there. Still within 2.
Big serve here, Matt, for Tomas Pukar from Croatia. We're going to check the ball first. Probably a good idea. You don't want a cracked ball in play right here.
Just puts it across the end. Of course, worth mentioning so far during our commentary, and important for us to mention, of course, during the tournament we're using the Nataku ball, and it's been a great ball for US table tennis tournaments now for quite a few years since the plastic ball change, and we haven't seen yet any ball breakages on table 1.
We've seen a couple go into the stands, but that's about it. And that one almost tried, but It's kept in play, and now facing game point here in game 6. Eloi with the serve. And that does it. So we are going to a game 7 here on court 1 at the Las Vegas Convention Center in the round of 32 for the men's single 2017 U.S. Open. As bouncing back, Tomislav Pukar, 11-7 in game 6. And boy, you get a couple of premier European international quality table tennis players going to game 7 here, Matt, in the round of 32. We still got a ways to go before we get to the Foundry on Thursday evening, when we'll have the men's and women's single, the finals there. So there's a long struggle in front of whoever is able to capture this match. But this is a huge game coming up for both of these gentlemen here in Las Vegas.
Yeah, and you can imagine for these two players encountering each other this early in the draw, the level of difficulty between now and potentially making the final at the Foundry. So there is some pretty tough matches ahead. Of course, a little unfortunate one of these players won't make it through. And Alwar straight out of the starting blocks.
Good start, good punch backhand. That one did go under the stands here. Let me get a new ball out on the table.
Both players in this 7th game will be looking to make the best start possible. The first half of this match, the first 4 or 5 points before the players swap ends at 5 are really crucial in establishing kind of mental control over the match. There's a big psychological advantage right now that the pressure is on. As they get to 5 points, they'll swap sides of the table. So usually a little bit of a psychological advantage for the player who gets to 5 first, and you can see Pukar, every point now is going to be absolutely crucial.
What a beautiful serve that was from Damien Eloi. It was so tight to the net, just almost impossible to handle.
One thing that you can note from the change in strategy is that because Tomislav Pukar has stopped trying to drop shot the ball when he returns serve, Damien Alwar has started to move his serve a little bit further over to the forehand now that he knows that Pukar is going to commit to coming all the way across with his backhand flip. So a little bit of reprieve there for Tomislav Pukar, but it's Alwar in the 7th game with a 4-2 lead and 2 serves here. And there's that jumping forehand flip.
Perfectly placed. That was right on the edge of the table. As for Eloi coming across to, for him, his left side, the forehand side for Pukar, and that was behind him before he was able to react.
Thus far in game 7, Alwar doing a superb job of dictating the plays from his serve. But still within 2 here. And Alwar can't control the ball, puts it long.
Now within 1, Pukar with the serve. Now 5-5 here in game 7. Doesn't get much tighter than this.
This is definitely a good shift in psychological advantage. Pukar managing to draw the game back to 5-all. So now, after the players have switched sides, it's Pukar that's won all of the points. So
it's almost like a prize fight at that point right there, where it looked like Eloi had Pukar on the ropes, and he was able to duck out and come back and put together a real nice combination. Now leads by 1, the timeout for Eloi, trying to regroup here in what will be a decisive game 7, round of 32 in the men's singles. The U.S. Open at the Las Vegas Convention Center, and the veteran Frenchman with the serve.
And Pukar will send it sailing over the end. Another fantastic serve from Damien Alwar. His service game has done great credit to him so far during this match. Did well to place the ball not quite into the corner, but enough to provide a difficult shot for Tomislav Pukar, but wasn't quite able to capitalize on it.
Oh, he catches the edge with the semi-jump and punch on the short shot by Pukar, and Eloi comes through big and ties at 7. Sevens are wild here in Las Vegas.
Oh, big opportunity for Alwar.
A couple of real nice digs off the deep backhand side that time by Pukar, including one right off the corner of that one.
A very, very surprising forehand jumping flip to the opposite corner, as we've seen across this match. And it's 8-8. This match is going right down to the wire.
Now, Pukar has the advantage again at 9-8 here in Game 7.
And Alwar, superb pressure applied to his backhand.
Well, it doesn't get much tighter than this, Matt Hetherington. 9-9, Game 7 against two premier players.
And throughout this match, we've seen a very strong service game from Damien Alwar. And
it's Eloi who gets the advantage.
It's a lot of pressure now on Pukar from Croatia, fighting against the serve of Damien Eloi.
And Damien Eloi, four-time Olympian, uses that veteran experience to take out the #1 seed here at the U.S. Open in rather dramatic fashion. 11-9 in Game 7 for the veteran player. And boy, what a way to win, Matt.
Yeah, and it really doesn't get any closer than that. I think there was a lot of different skills and tactics on play in this match, and a lot of it came down to serve and receive. I mean, Pukar with the short reverse serve to the forehand came out on a number of occasions and caused problems for Damien Alwar, but he wasn't able to capitalize on his service points with his serve receive. Alwar came out also exhibiting a strong service game, and I mean, across the last 3 games, the number of service setups we saw from Alwar where he just came in and just jumped in the air and threw his body into those forehand flips, winning the points outright. Yeah, definitely a big clash of different characters, and the kind of display you would really want to see in a table tennis match at an international tournament like the US Open. Youth versus experience, and lots of different concepts of the sport of table tennis out here. Of, you know, you don't have to be young and athletic to be a good table tennis player. There's elements of a kind of chess-like game, lots of strategy, and there's just so much going on in a match, and I think that was a really perfect example and a pleasure to see so early in the tournament.
So the bracket's in shambles now. The #1 seed is down, and here we go. That's in the round of 32. As alternating wins, the veteran Damien Eloi comes up 11-8, 6-11, 11-5, then 8-11, then 13-11 was a critical Game 5, 11-7 in Game 6, 7-11, and then 11-9 in the decisive Game 7. We'll go ahead and take a break. We've got more table tennis on the way from the Las Vegas Convention Center. Great action here at the men's singles of the U.S. Open.